Anybody that's listening to this, watching this, or is going to watch this in the future, please understand we are not trained medical technicians, nor do we give a fuck about health. Hence the name, Two Drunks in a Bottle.
Souls, cheap whiskey flows, falling through the night, no place to go. Broken dreams and shattered fight. Two drunks and a bottle takes flight. Empty pockets, shattered holes, swimming liquor, drowning woes. Faceless shadows, fading light. Two drunks in a bottle outside, bleeding hearts on dirty ground, shattered bottles echo sound, no salvation nowhere found. Two drunks in a bottle bound, hit the pavement cold and hard.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Two Drunks in a Bottle. I'm BB.
I'm Hunter.
And we got a guest with us tonight. Yeah, he's
Oh,
I'm back here.
cool.
yeah.
I bet.
So hey, I'll give you a nickel for a dickel.
Dickel, what's a dickel?
It's what he picked us to drink tonight. Yeah.
So aged 8 years. Okay. 45. Okay. I like the color on it.
It's a neat little bottle.
Charcoal chilled filtered.
So what made you pick George Dickel?
It is my favorite whiskey of all, especially when you mix it with a Dr. Pepper.
Really? Now that's my thing
Yes,
is mixing
it-
with Dr.
it-
Pepper.
It tastes delicious with a Dr. Pepper.
See, I've done it with Crown. Crown was the only one that I've actually liked with Dr. Pepper. So this is going to be kind of interesting to see if this is kind of like the Crown situation, and maybe compare the two to see which I think is would be better. I'm down for that.
What's going on, Philip and Cosmetech? Glad you two are watching. Fuck you all.
Oh.
Fuck off, Cosmetech.
No, I think that was a typing error. I think like a spell check or something. Like he typed it.
Well,
and it
maybe
just-
that was Polish for drunks.
Oh, that's right, because he's not from around here.
He's a fake Polish kid, though.
He's English, not Polish.
Yeah, that's what I meant. I was correcting myself.
Wannabe.
Yeah, he's a wannabe Polish kid. Whew.
What's wrong, BB?
Yeah, it's got a smell.
You smell a little hot.
What's going on, Tyler? Glad to have you here, man. Getting fire back with shadows. Loved having him on our side. All right. And kind of opened up a little bit. So I just thought about it. They are actually looking at something new. Our chairs. We actually have backs now.
Yeah. That was something I told you that I've been wanting.
Well, you've seen me just resting like this, so I can kind of stretch the back out just a little bit. But I think I'm good now.
Yeah, I'm glad that that my job was getting rid of these, and I was like, oh yeah.
Wow, we got some comments going through.
Have no fear, Geritol Man is here.
What's up, Decoy?
DWA. What?
That's that wannabe language again.
It's that wannabe language. Drunk time. What's wrong?
What's going on, Boogie?
Take your meds, cause.
Yeah. Follow Decoy's route. Take your meds.
Tater looks like the real life George Nelson. Eh,
I don't know about that.
Yeah,
All right.
I don't know about that one either.
he hates being called babyface too. If you know, you know.
So he has the bottle too, right?
You don't. You said you weren't able to make it to the liquor store, but you have a bottle of Ciroc.
I have a bottle of something else.
Okay.
So you're not actually drinking this with us tonight.
No, I'm gonna switch to the one that y'all didn't choose.
Okay. So I guess we'll take it as a recommendation. You know, we always tell people that. Now, is he gonna take a shot with us?
I don't know. You taking a shot with us?
Yeah, give me just a second.
Yeah. I didn't want to like leave you out on that.
So Boogeyman says, "Does it taste good with Dr. Pepper?" We don't know yet. We haven't made it to that portion of the podcast yet. We'll be getting there shortly, though.
Yeah, you're definitely gonna find out. Like I was telling Tater, is I normally mix Crown and Dr. Pepper together, and I know that is really good. It's blended well. It's like its own little thing. You don't taste just the Crown or just Dr. Pepper. It makes its own little drink. So I'm curious to see how this is going to go over Dr. Pepper.
Are y'all taking 30-second calls?
I mean, I guess if the Discord's open, they could jump in and just do a voice thing. It's up to you, though.
I mean, we've got a guest. I probably wouldn't. Want to ruin Tater's podcast.
Yeah, Tyler, that's Tater.
Boogeyman, you should drink Screwdriver. I love a good screwdriver.
Yeah, that was something we did a lot, you know, growing up.
Yes, drinking the Smirnoff ones.
Yeah,
But I like to make my own now. You know, get the vodka and you are buffering on both Twitch and YouTube.
ooh,
Okay. You're the only one complaining about it thus far.
yeah. Everybody in the comments, y'all let us know if it's just decoy or if it's for everybody.
So, what do you got there, Tater?
It is called Ciroc Apple.
And you're taking a shot of this?
Yes.
Wait, so he said earlier that that's what we didn't choose. We were going to choose something with apple in it.
No, real screwdriver.
Oh yeah. When we started out, we were drinking all the Smirnoffs. But yeah, we changed over to just regular screwdrivers.
Do whiskeys have code names now? Radio whiskey, CB radio whiskey. Where's a whiskey called Pipe Bomb? Need to raise Tater's audio. All right, so let's take a shot.
Go for it. Cheers. It's a slow burn. I was expecting it to be kicked like real quick.
Got
Got a bite at the end.
it's almost got like a metallic aftertaste.
I don't know about that. Not for me. It's definitely got a burn, but like I said, it was slow. It went down kind of smooth, but once it hit the back of that throat, that's where the burn kicked in.
What's going on, South Coast Productions? Cosmotech says South Coast Productions, you suck. Boogie, you can barely hear him.
I turned him up, so y'all should be able to hear him once he starts talking again.
If anything, we get him a little closer to his mic or something. We'll figure it out.
So, Tater, what did you think about your
I
shot?
can't. Oh, delicious as always.
I mean, I hear Tater just fine.
Yeah, I mean, I turned them up some more, so I mean, hopefully that fixes.
Like
Boogie, y'all
how
just
we
let us
hear
know.
him, they should be able to hear him, right?
Yeah,
And
Uh,
I can't get much. I can't get much closer to
yeah,
my
you
mic
can see
with
how
right
he's
in my
picking up over
mouth.
here. He's the very first one when
Yeah.
he talks.
so Tater, where'd you get your nickname Tater from?
Yeah, how'd that go?
So
Did you come up with that on your own?
no, actually, I got that nickname from one of my lieutenants in the fire department about 10 or 15 years ago. My last name is Wise, like the potato chip. And so he said he's going to start calling me Tater Chip.
Hmm.
Well, I told him, I was like, well, good luck, because I've had nicknames in the past and they never stick. And well, now I've got people that's known me for 20 plus years that don't know my real name. They just know me as Tater or Tater Chip, either one.
Huh. Okay.
So it wasn't like just a gamer tag that you came up with. There's actually a story behind old Sweet Tater being your gamer tag.
There is a story behind it.
And you said this happened about 20 years ago?
Between 15 and 20.
Does your wife call you Tater?
No, she does not.
Did she know you by Tater, or had you already met before you got the nickname?
No, so me and my wife met quite a while after I had gotten that nickname. She knew my nickname was Tater. One of my best friends was his wife and her were friends, and that's how we got introduced. So she knew, because my best friend called me Tater all the time, so she knew my nickname was Tater, but she's never really called me that. She calls me Josh or, Babe or whatever the names are. And if she's mad at me, I get the whole name, and then I know I've really messed up. So
So what would you rather us call you, Tater or Josh? How do you want to be addressed tonight?
You can call me Tater on here.
All right. Good to know. I mean, we have to have some type of name for him.
I mean, I was just going to go with Sweetheart, to be honest.
I mean, whatever tickles your pickle.
I mean, I'll give you a nickel for a dickel.
How'd you come up with George Dickel? Like, is that something that you kind of started drinking on, or is that just something that you found one day?
So George Dickel it was one of those things. I was on a budget. I couldn't afford Jack or Crown at the time.
Been there?
So I picked up a bottle of George Dickel and was like, you know what? I'm gonna try it. It's sitting close to it, so I'm gonna try it.
This George
tried it
Dickel
with
was more
Coke.
expensive than Jack.
Yeah. Well, maybe the one we got, 'cause this one said
that's-
aged for 8 years. So I don't know if that's a standard, but
It's the bottle you got. That's why it was more expensive. It's a special thing. It's not the normal bottle.
Can't
But,
ever get nothing right.
we saw the one that was like something bonded, and we're like, all right, we know it ain't that. But yeah, we saw this one didn't have much of a label, so we're like, okay, this just says George Dickel. But we tried calling you to make sure we were getting the right one, but we couldn't get in touch with you. But it is what it is. So far, it's not bad.
Like I told BB earlier, I'm in the middle of a remodel on the house, so
Hey man, you're all good.
me doing anything unless it's later at night like this is kind of out of the question.
I hear you. I mean, we're lucky enough to have you here as a guest. You know, that's all we ask for.
Hey. I'm lucky y'all asked me.
Cosmotech has a dumb
take it as a
question.
compliment.
Cosmotech has a dumb question, and it's for you,
Of
Tater.
course.
Is George Nelson based on George Dickel, or are they related?
No and no.
There you go, Cosmotech.
Like, just because
Kinda
they both
wish they
have
were.
the name George,
Sure, but they're
they
not.
could be possibly related? Polish kid's thought process, the wannabe Polish kid's thought process, I swear.
I'm wondering if he took too much of his medication, though.
Yeah, I think he might have taken too much of his medication. Dumb and Dumber, yeah.
Yeah, Cosmotex is getting dumb and dumber. You're right.
He has split personalities. Said question is, it sounds like something Clancy would say. Yeah, I think that Clancy might be the one that's doing the typing over there.
Huh.
Boogeyman says, Tater, my brother from another fire department. Here it is. Tater is our director of BCSO and Freedom Roleplay. You would think that he would have been like fire, like since he used to be a fireman. But nah, he wants to run LEO.
He said he got enough of that. He wants to try something new.
He knows it's boring and he's gonna sit at the station all damn night.
I mean, when you think of like role playing and stuff, especially like with 5M, how many fires would you actually see though? I mean, that's something I would say. Like you would have more interaction with like cops, you know, and I guess robbers or maybe whatever might happen up, but you would get calls more for the cops than you would for the fire department. I would expect.
You could use the fire department for quite a bit of role play. Any type of gunshots or any medical stuff, you can roll the ambulance and stuff. I guess. Yeah, cat up a tree. Yeah, I think Ace and Shadows actually were like creating their own imaginary scenes, and we're doing that stuff one night
just to get some use for them.
Boogeyman says he was on the fire department where he is for 9 years.
All right.
Hell yeah.
So, you got any drunken stories that the statute of limitations have ran out on that you can tell us? It's been a minute since we've heard some drunken stories.
Yeah.
I've got one or two. One, I don't know if the statute of limitations will ever run out on it, but I'll tell it anyway. So it was just after I joined the military. I had just gotten to my unit. I was 19 and we were having a party at the barracks. Of course, 19 underage. And that's where I actually got introduced to my friend Sirach. Was at that particular little party, and we were partying it up, and apparently somebody called the MPs. Where the MPs showed up, and we hid in the barracks. MPs had flashlights in the windows, knocking on doors, and yeah, we didn't answer them. We stayed there till they left. It was very interesting.
Yeah, that's definitely gonna be one of those moments where you don't forget about.
Quite a few people could have went to jail. Quite a few people could have had their careers messed up.
Yeah.
For that one. So I'm not
going to
name any names. I'm not going to name any names of the people that was with me.
Nah, I wouldn't expect you to. Yeah, that was definitely a close call for y'all, but good thing nothing happened.
Yeah, we it's funny, we hid in a closet in a bedroom. You could see the flashlights coming through the windows underneath the door.
So you came out of the closet?
Trying to think about it.
Now that you say it, yeah.
Does your wife know about you coming out of the closet?
My wife knows more about me than I would like her to know. Let's see.
So you got another one?
I should have had 2 DUIs. One was with an ex-girlfriend. We been drinking for about 6 or 7 hours, and she decided she wanted to go to Domino's to get pizza instead of having it delivered. got pulled over in the parking lot of Domino's. Had somebody throw up out of the back window of her car while the cop was in the car writing the ticket for a dead tag.
Oh, shit.
She said the flashing lights on the car made her sick, so she threw up out the back window. And I've also been drag racing with trucks between bridges. Luckily, we didn't have any cops show up at that point. But I've also been drag racing trucks between bridges while drinking. I was 14 or 15 in at that point when some people had a wonderful idea. Yeah, let's race our trucks down the bridges.
And you said you should have had 2 DUI. So have you just been lucky and have never had one?
I've been lucky enough with those 2 times that I didn't end up with one, so I no longer do stupid stuff like that. I don't, if I have more than a couple, I don't leave the house or my wife drives.
Well, you got little ones to think about now too. That kind of changes your whole perspective of life.
Yeah, I mean, you just can't like go out and have parties and stuff like that. You actually have responsibilities where you gotta either maybe take care of the kid one night, or it gets a lot harder with kids.
Responsibilities suck.
Yeah.
I hate being an adult. You always said, I can't wait till I grow up. I can't wait till I grow up. Then you do grow up and it's like, this shit ain't fun.
And you're like, what the fuck happened?
Like, I thought it was supposed to be all rainbows and butterflies, and it's not. It's more of walking on glass shards barefoot half the time.
All right, I'm gonna make a request on the next drink y'all make.
Okay.
Don't measure it.
Speaking of measuring,
Yeah.
I need to go ahead and pour off into the infinity bottle.
It hit you the same time it hit me. I was like, yeah, there was a reason for that.
Look, we got sloppy fucking drunk last night.
Yeah.
Had a hell of a time on unfiltered. We drank a whole bottle of I did not do a single shot in that. I accidentally did a double.
Give it some flavor.
Broke our own rule. Got sloppy drunk on freaking unfiltered. We went through a whole bottle of whiskey and lost count on how many beers I had.
Yeah.
What's going on, Timmy? So hopefully this drink kind of cured the hangover I've had today. The double was a good idea in that.
Yeah. I get like the flavor coming off the George Dickel, but like no burn.
Yeah, no burn at all.
I taste Dr. Pepper and I taste.
The Dr. Pepper kills the burn.
Yeah, I agree.
So are we calling this Dr. Dickel?
I like it. Dr. Dickel. Or Dr. Dick for short.
Yeah, Doc Dick. Doc Dick.
It's the old
Dr.
double
Dick.
D.
I like
that
double
one.
D's.
Yeah.
Cosmetech said he's quitting. Boogeyman said, thank God he's not a guest.
I think he's talking about the drunken stories part.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe that's what he's talking about is the drunken stories part. I'd probably like to hear some of Boogie's drunken stories. I bet he has some fun ones.
I don't think he's looking to share those just yet.
So when did you like get? Have you ever been just a heavy drinker, or you've always just kind of been a casual drinker?
I actually started off not a drinker at all. I didn't really care for alcohol, didn't really experiment with it. I didn't start my heavy drinking until after I got out the military, and about 2 years after I got out the military, I was up to where I could kill 24 in a night. And I done that every night, 6 to 7 days a week for about 8 years. Um, and then the beer turned into beer and liquor, to where I was going out 6, 7 nights a week, uh, to a bar drinking. And it got quite bad there for a while. Luckily, I met my wife, and that now I'm lucky to drink even on the weekends. It's gotten to where I may, if I do drink, I'll have one or two on the weekends. I think tonight's the most I've drank in a month.
I mean, we've had some pretty fun times drinking together. Uh, last weekend being one of those. We had fun on that squad cast, making fun of Cosmetech.
Yeah, y'all had like a good crowd. I wasn't there, but I got to watching part of it and stuff.
Yeah,
You
we
a
had
lot.
like between 10 and 12 people
Yeah.
in that episode. And Tater was over there with me. Clip it. Come on, clip it.
South Coast, he clipped me some. Like he'll send me a message. I got to watching it.
He clips everything. I mean, lesson was learned. We learned that the Polish kid is a wannabe Polish kid. We learned that he's actually British but we couldn't get it through his head that he was born in Britain, so he's fucking British. Just because his parents are Polish, you got Polish descent. We tried to get that through his head, and then we learned that he was a racist. And
Yeah, that was the part I heard. That was the part that got clipped.
was I there? I can't remember. You took your Geritol, but you were being pretty quiet.
But he was there though.
And if I was, did I have a good time? You were pretty quiet. I think something was wrong with you that night, Decoy.
Sure he didn't fall asleep.
He may have fell asleep. I'm not entirely. I know he took his Geritol. It was kind of a late episode, and he had already taken his Geritol like 2 hours beforehand.
Or just see his logo, and you're like, "Oh yeah, Decoy's chilling with us."
Yeah, that was pretty much it. I think he stayed muted for most of that episode.
Yeah, he was. Well, if he muted himself, he might have been up. So you brought up, Squadcast. Is that something that you're looking to like bring back? Because we did it for a while, and we were just kind of like maybe once a month of that, and then we kind of spaced out for a bit. So like this is kind of it coming back,
Yeah, we'll probably be having more regular content when it comes to that. We added Aftermath into the mix. We just recently made a deal with Rocky Mountain Productions, and Rocky Mountain Productions is going to be doing their podcast under the Squad Productions brand.
Sweet.
So he'll be going live under Squad Productions, but he'll also be uploading those, I believe, to Rocky Mountain Productions.
Yeah.
Kind of feed off of both sides.
I don't blame him.
So hopefully we'll bring some of his viewers to us and some of our viewers to him and do a little bit of collaboration.
Sweet. I like that. Yeah, man, it was fun, Tyler. I'm kind of glad having somebody else with, because he's been wanting me to do the Unfiltered for a minute now. And I did, one episode, I believe it was the one with Timmy involved, the Aftermath / Unfiltered. But then I only stayed for the Aftermath part. So I really was only there for one, but maybe you want to count two before that. But yeah, it's nice having another guest.
We ended up going for about 3 hours last night, and that was a recorded episode.
Yeah.
So I'll be holding that one in my pocket for a minute. It'll probably end up getting released next week at some point.
Yeah.
we're trying to grow and get some better content out to everyone and have a more regular schedule
Yeah,
as well.
that's something that has been brought to us before.
People want our prime time spot though. Everyone's wanting our Saturday nights, and it's like you're not getting our Saturday night.
Because we tried for Fridays when we first started doing this, and it was rough because it's like I would come over Friday and we'd have to jump right into podcast mode.
Well, we gotta create one. We gotta create some type of podcast for Tater Chip over here. Get him to host a podcast, and
Already got it.
Oh,
so you're gonna go live under the Squad Productions brand?
I've got the podcast and everything, and kind of got an idea what I want to do. Even got a name for it.
Oh, what you got? Don't be secretive,
I mean, at least give us a name.
or at least tell us what it's going to be about.
The name I'm not going to really say the name right now, but it's kind of more of a it's kind of more of a laid back, relaxed chat type deal. Pick guests that have they're pick guests like firefighters, paramedics, LEO, public service guest. Interview them, and I've got a couple people in mind to open it up with, that are very well known, especially in my area, that would make good content.
I like that. That's something you really don't see too often. So I mean, that's something new, and it kind of fits in with Freedom Roleplay because y'all, y'all's roleplay with the cops and all that. So I mean, I think that'd be kind of like a cool addition to all that.
Yeah, I'd probably leave out to those guys that you role play as a cop.
Oh no, I've already got my school resource officer already knows it. She actually had me take a picture of her truck to try and get us to use it as a skin in Freedom Roleplay.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah,
that's cool.
Send it over to Boogeyman. He skins all of our cars now. Philip fucking Tom Elias. So, Tater, what kind of video games outside of 5M? What kind of video games are you into? Do you play any solo games, or do you play mainly multiplayer stuff?
Mainly what I play is multiplayer. Outside of 5M, it's ATS. I like to play Sea of Thieves. Recently got into World of Warships. Don't know where it come from. I clicked on it, downloaded it, and started playing it, and it's actually pretty good. It's pretty fun to play. So
I think Shadows plays that.
That's what I was trying to think if that was the same game. But yeah, Sea of Thieves was a game that we were pretty big on for a minute. Trying to learn like how to actually sell out and find treasure. We didn't really have the best of luck on that.
Oh man, that night should have been recorded. That one night where we were like, if you don't have a mic, we're throwing you in the brig.
Oh, I remember that.
And so we kept throwing people in the World of Warships. Shadows. We kept throwing people in the brig if they didn't have a mic, and one dude got pissed, and we found out that he ended up being a pirate legend.
Of course, we weren't at the time,
and we're like, we just screwed up so bad. Like, why am I in the brig? I'm a pirate legend. We're like, wait, you're a what?
Yeah, we were sitting there messing with him. We're like, you ain't got a mic. You ain't got a mic. So he starts playing music, and we're like, really? Like, this is what you're gonna do? And as soon as we sent him to the brig, this secret passage opens up, to say you're a pirate legend and go down to the secret area. And immediately we pulled him out of there and he had just left.
Well, no, the game like glitched. If you remember, like we kept trying, but he ended up like we had put him in the brig and took him out so many times that it glitched and it messed up his time.
Yeah, I was gonna say there was a timer for it, and we had to wait. But by the time the timer went off, he'd left.
Because I think we ended up putting him in there for like 15 minutes or something. So he was going to have to wait that entire 15 minutes.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was.
it sucked because that was the whole
Yeah.
point of us trying to bring somebody on was to find a pirate legend.
That was the same night that we ended up running into a pretty cool dude that like showed us the ropes of how to loot stuff
Mm-hmm.
and get paid out pretty big. That was some fun times right there. I
Yeah.
think we had played that game for like 8 hours straight that night.
Something we might have to get back into. I mean,
I still have it downloaded.
I'm pretty sure I still have it downloaded. I might be wrong, but it don't take long to get it. So your question was what? Gaming?
Yeah.
What are some of your favorite games or?
Just what kind of games he was into.
Okay. If I'm going rotation, me, I play like a lot of single player games, especially like some with a story. I do like some like open world games, almost like a sandbox, but I can't play any games where you gotta like make your own story, like try to like think of it in your head and type. I never could do that. But I do like open world games, kind of like Far Cry was, where you're just running around and able to do whatever missions. But my favorite games are always the storyline. For one would be like The Witcher, Witcher 3. That has so many side stories and stuff that you can do. I still haven't finished just because the game's so big. But I have been playing this one though. It's a game called Sherwood Builders. I found it on Xbox Game Pass. Basically, you're Robin Hood, and it's the story of Robin Hood. You're back in that time during like the castles there and all that. But it's kind of cool because you actually build your own area and have people come in. I'm still kind of messing around with it, but so far it's a decent game.
How long has that been out?
I don't know when it got put on there. I just remember going through and checking the A through Z list, and I looked at it and I was like, this looks like an Archer game. And I clicked it and it was like open world and you build and craft. And I was like, I don't think I've ever played a Robin Hood video game that's able to do all this. Like the graphics don't look bad either. It is a single player game. It's not a multiplayer. But I mean, for what it is, like it's pretty cool.
I think mine right now would have to be Ready or Not. We've been grinding pretty hard on Ready or Not. Going in order of the maps, trying to complete each mission in order. And like we live streamed it last night playing it. And it was definitely fun having it to where you had more people that could join.
Oh yeah.
Because we were actually like splitting up into two teams, and one team going through the back and the other team going through the front and breaching at the same time. And we were steadily getting A's on most of the missions.
Yeah, we were doing good. I was kind of shocked like how well it went, just because we were splitting up for the very first time, and it went so smooth. And I think we had 5 people, is what it was. We did have a little technical difficulties with the mod setup, getting more players, but we figured it out pretty quick. But yeah, it's nice having more people on it. And I'm liking that everybody, like more and more people are starting to get this game now.
Yeah, I think we ended up with seven people that wanted to play with us total at one point.
You're right. So we may have had 6 players now I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, we ended with 6, but we had a 7th player wanting to join.
And then,
but we had got off to go ahead and do the podcast.
And we technically could have 8 right now, right? Because in there, is it Decoy that ended up getting it?
Yeah, Decoy did end up getting it. So Decoy ended up being in there with us.
Can you imagine having 2 teams of 4 or even having more teams?
Yeah, that would have put us at 8 players. That would have been pretty cool to go 4-4. I think it would be a cool aspect if they made it to where you can be the enemy.
I've seen people do roleplay. They'll have like modded maps, and that's what they'll do. There's it's like a hotel, and it's got like the 2-story, and then it's like a little small room, and it's made for you to go in and out of. And I've seen them roleplay with it. Of course, they have like custom skins and stuff, so that person can change their skin out. But I mean, I get where they're going with it, but it'd be kind of hard to at the same time. I guess just trying to like create a scenario because each map, is it's like a certain little time. So like you got to plan it, you got to go run up there and then be like, okay, I'm ready, and then start it out.
I think it would be kind of cool to. I think it would be kind of cool to play hide and seek on that game.
Yeah, Decoy. We definitely have a mod list. Most of it's already in a package, and I think we just have one mod to install after that. But we definitely can give that to you.
Yeah, we know Decoy didn't join. We were saying that he would have been the 8th person if he would have joined.
Yeah.
I sent you the OneDrive link, Decoy, and then I think Cosmotech sent you the last one. So what do you have an all-time favorite movie that just you could watch it over and over and over again and it never gets old?
So I do, but it's kind of turned into a series now. I'm more into the first 4 of that series. Yeah, about the first 4. And it's the Transformers movies. I could watch the first 4, maybe 5 of those over and over and over, and it never get old to me.
Huh. Yeah, Transformers was pretty good back in the early days, and then they just kind of.
I like the Shia LaBeouf ones.
Yeah,
and then when they kind of went Mark Wahlberg on you, it kind of wasn't as good.
Yeah.
Shia LaBeouf played a good character.
Yeah, I mean, it was the origin story, basically. Yeah, and that to me was like pretty good. And it's like you said, they just kind of added to it, and it went the wrong direction.
So, were you big on like the cartoons and such with Transformers growing up?
Yes, that was something that me and my brother did religiously. It was watch the cartoons.
So, did y'all collect Transformers as well? Some of them are worth some money.
Especially now that they come back.
We didn't necessarily collect them. We were just real big into the cartoons, and following the storyline that the cartoons built on. I actually still go back and watch the cartoon version of it now. I'll watch the movies and then sit there for 3 or 4 hours after watching the movies and watch cartoons from Transformers just to
I
see
never could get
where the
into
storylines match up.
I never could get into the Transformers cartoons. Now they've got that new movie, the Transformers 1.
Oh, the animated one?
Yeah, it's kind of animated. It's not like completely. I don't think it's completely animated.
I think it is. I mean, unless you're talking about like cartoon wise, but it's definitely animated.
I think it was more CGI than anything
because it's from their universe.
Yeah. They're at they're on the Primes in the Primes world.
Yeah, we're screwing that up.
I can't remember exactly what their world was called.
I wasn't gonna try it. I'm pretty sure Tater might know.
What is it?
Transformers, where they're from, like their planet,
where the Primes are from.
It's so all the Transformers are from Cybertron.
Okay.
You have the Autobots and Decepticons. Each wanted something different for the planet. It ensued in a war which destroyed their planet. They come to Earth. The Autobots come to Earth seeking refuge. The Decepticons followed them for one reason or other. It depends on whether you're watching a cartoon or whether you're watching a movie.
Right.
The movie does kind of follow the cartoon storyline to a point, but it does get off track. But yeah, they all come from that planet Cybertron.
So we were talking about Transformers 1 and pretty much where it takes place at that they pretty much had to do like animated with it or like BB said CGI. And that's what we were getting at was just saying like because it was on Cybertron, they couldn't actually do a legit movie. I mean, I guess they could, but how much money they would probably have to put in for that, for all those effects. So, I mean, it was probably best that it was like an animated or CGI type movie. Transformers, all right. I never had any beef with Transformers. I just never could really get into the cartoon era. But yeah, the movies I can definitely get with on that. I always liked the Transformers movies up to, like I said, a certain point. But if I'm going back to a show or a movie, was it show or movie or just movie?
Movie. We hadn't hit TV shows yet.
So a movie that I can watch religiously would have to be Four Brothers. If you haven't checked out, go check it out. It was a movie I grew up on, and with us, it was always, you pick your family is what I grew up on. Whether it be friends or your actual family, you pretty much make it happen. And with Four Brothers, they were all orphans, and they got put into a home to help find a family, which they never could. And the lady that was over the home, she ended up taking all four of them in, and they grew up as brothers. And to me, like, that hit home because, like I said, you kind of create your own family. And there's like a lot of stuff that goes on in the movies. They have a death in the family, and they're trying to investigate it. And it's kind of cool. It has Mark Wahlberg in it.
Tyrese Gibson.
Andre 3000. It's got some well-known people in it, but I mean, it's definitely something I'll watch around Thanksgiving and Christmas. We've had this talk before, where whether or not it's a Thanksgiving movie or a Christmas movie. The reason being is that they have both, times in that movie. It's like early in the movie, you're looking at Thanksgiving, and then it turns to Christmas. But yeah, that's something like I try to watch at least once a year around the holidays. But yeah, that movie to me never gets old.
Yeah, we watch it every year.
That's an awesome movie, by the way.
You seen it?
They talked about making a second one.
Yes, sir. I've seen that movie.
Good deal, man.
Don't know why they would really make a second one, or how they could really go on making a second one.
Not
because it wouldn't be Four Brothers.
I was
one, the younger one died.
The three, yeah. I was looking into I wasn't really looking up anything. I kind of ran across it, and there was a movie out that they made. It was Elf. They were talking to
Will Ferrell.
Will Ferrell. I was trying to think of his name. Will Ferrell was out on an interview, and they were talking about Elf and if he actually enjoyed it. The reason why they brought it up was because he went to the game dressed as like an elf, but he did like a drunken elf, like he was hungover. He looked like a mean elf, but he was like playing somewhat of his character. Like he was dressed up like him, but he looked like he was just hungover and wasn't having a good time. So they had the little video clip and they played it, and they got to asking him about Elf, and they were like, we feel like there should have been more movies on Elf because it's so iconic. Like, it's the big Christmas movie. And he said, well, they tried it. He's like, a couple years after, he said, they hit me up with a script. He's like, and I didn't want to do a sequel. He's like, I felt that the first one went so well. It was so iconic that if I did another one, I'd be doing it for the money. He's like, I couldn't honestly say that, go watch this movie, it's the best, or it's going to be the next Elf, He's like, so I turned them down. He's like, I lost a lot of money because they were offering me this and that. And he's like, but that's what it would have been for. It would have been for the money, not for the fans. He's like, so I turned it down. I thought that was pretty cool. And he's honest about it because a lot of movies, they're really good with the first movie. If they leave it alone, it has a great ending.
They need to leave stuff alone.
Yeah, exactly. Like you said, Four Brothers. Four Brothers shouldn't have a sequel to it. It ended the way it ended. That's where it should be.
They're talking about Step Brothers.
I heard
having a second one from Step Brothers, and it's like, leave it alone, leave it at Boats and Hose. They ended on a high note.
Because what are they going to do? They're going to bring Boats and Hose and be like, oh, well, something happens. Now they lost all their money and they got to redo something.
Didn't the guy that played the dad die?
Really?
No, I'm asking. Didn't that guy die?
Not that I know of. Unless, if he did, I haven't heard of that. Which I'd be shocked. But I mean, he was old, though.
And then Elf, they couldn't redo another Elf, even if they wanted to. Gene Hackman just died.
Well, just died. This was like after Elf came out. He said it was like 2 years after they did it that they wanted to do another one. And he said, I think he was talking about like it was 4 or 6 years later.
Never mind, that wasn't Gene Hackman. I'm thinking of Little Fockers and Meet the Fockers.
Oh.
That was Gene Hackman in that. Never mind. My bad. BB, you look rough. Was last night a little hard on you? Do I look rough? Damn. Tater,
just
why
the way
didn't
he
you
looks.
Tater, why didn't you tell me I look a little rough?
You look fine to me.
You heard it. You heard it there, Timmy. Tater just said I look sexy.
All right, so his name is Richard Jenkins. No, he's still alive. It doesn't say anything about his death.
Step Brothers.
Yep.
Okay.
77 is how old he is.
For some reason, I thought that I saw somewhere that he had died.
That's why I was kind of shocked because I was like, I haven't heard anything about it. Yeah, Step Brothers. I really don't see how they're going to do that. I think the way they're doing it is going to stretch it. But I mean, if they pull it off, it'll be great because the first movie, I loved the first one.
I can rewatch it.
Yeah.
That's one that I could probably rewatch over and over again. Mine would my movie would be would have to be the Blade series, not the TV series. I hated the TV series. Absolutely couldn't stand it. Hated that Wesley Snipes wasn't in it. But the entire Blade series, and they ended it well in Blade Trinity, with saying that like Blade continued his legacy and he keeps world peace between the vampires. And it was great actually seeing him reprise his role in Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah.
But you could tell he's aged.
Well, yeah, they definitely did it right by saying he went into, I think they called it the Netherworld or something like that, where they just were in like the pit. You know, it was the life and death right between. And to have him there and make him have like his age showing, I think it really helped to say that he got put there and he's been stuck there for that many years. I think that was kind of smart.
I'm glad that he said yes, to do it, because he had said in an interview like many years ago after Trinity ended it that it was no more. He couldn't do it anymore. He just wasn't interested in stuff anymore to do it.
Yeah.
But those I can rewatch those over and over. The second one probably not so much. The second one I didn't care. I didn't care for the second one. It was okay. But the first and the third one, 100%. I can rewatch both of those.
So you said the TV series you weren't really into, which I get that. You know, the TV series to me wasn't the same. The movies, of course, I get with. I might not be able to watch it as many times as you can, but
shit, I just went a couple. I think it might have been just a few weeks ago. I went back and watched the first one.
I believe
I fell asleep to it. Hey, you were here actually. You were like, I'm really tired. Because I was like, I'm gonna put on a movie, and you're like, yeah, I'm going to bed. And we had started a movie.
I know, because
I can't remember what movie we had started, but you were like, I'm probably not going to be awake for this entire movie. So you had fell asleep. Yep. I looked over, you were asleep, and I was like, okay, I'm going to save this for us to watch together.
Yep.
And then I turned on Blade, and I got about halfway through it before I finally dozed off.
Yeah, I remember asking you about it when you were like, yeah, you passed out like 10 or 15 minutes in, and you're like, I wasn't going to watch it.
I think you said you woke up and like one of the other Blades had played or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then you woke up again and something else was on, and it wasn't even in the same genre. It had changed, and you're like, he was watching that?
But so like the movies and stuff you were into, what about the video games of Blade? Did you ever really get into
they only
the
made
games?
one Blade video game. Did they make two?
I want to say
yes, they did make two. They made one for PS1. And then PS2, or it wasn't released on, I don't know if it was released on PS2. I know it was released on Xbox. They made Blade 2.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I remember Blade 2 being a game.
Because I have it on the modded Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed that game series.
So you played both of them, or just the second one? Or
I think I remember watching Eric play the first one.
That's your cousin, right?
Yes. I remember watching my older cousin play it. I don't remember actually playing the first one. I know 100% I've played the second one.
Okay. I bet.
Video game adaptation. One game that like sticks out to me that actually followed the storyline.
Yeah.
Was fuck. I had it in my head.
I did the same thing with Will Ferrell.
Then I just lost it.
Yeah.
I just went blank.
It happens. Like I said, I did the same thing with Will Ferrell.
Punisher.
Oh, okay.
The Punisher game followed the movie really, really well. And was a really great adaptation. And then what was another one? Van Helsing. They followed the movie. You literally could play the video game, and it was the movie. You're just Van Helsing going through, like you're pretty much fuck.
Actor's name?
Yeah.
Or, Hugh Jackman?
Hugh Jackman. I don't know why I couldn't think of it. Hugh Jackman actually playing as Hugh Jackman in the video game.
Oh, yeah, voiced it.
I'm pretty sure he did. If not, they definitely like based it off of his character.
It was close enough.
It was close.
Gotcha. Yeah, I don't think I ever played it. I do remember the game and stuff. I remember watching like trailers and stuff. But yeah, I don't believe I had a chance to play it.
Oh, here we go with him changing colors again.
Should have fucked with him. Been like, not even said nothing, because remember before he had said that he was changing it, and he said the only way he knew that it was working was because we started talking about it.
Stop it. Fucking Timmy on Twitch changing his colors.
It's a good thing I'm colorblind, so I don't really notice.
Freaking idiot. All right, so Tater, what about TV series? You have any TV series that you just go back and watch over and over and over again?
Oh, TV series. NCIS is one that I go back to over and over and over again. I love Gibbs. I love Abby, as does everybody, and Ziva, as does everybody. But yeah, NCIS. If I had to go to I guess you could say a newer TV show, it would be NCIS. If you want to go older TV shows, if I had to pick an older TV show, it would probably be. Older TV shows, I'd have to go with Friends.
Friends?
I enjoyed watching Friends. Yep, I enjoyed watching Friends with my mama as a kid.
I
So that
never
would be
got
my
into
older one,
Friends.
and then
Really?
Yeah, I never could get into Friends.
There was one white moment that I've ever had. It was watching Friends all the way through. Like, that was my go-to show.
Like I'm a Shadow says he can't wait for NCIS, Tony and Ziva. I'm a sitcom guy. I love going back and watching sitcoms. Like normally you'll come over and I've watched I'll be watching a certain sitcom and you're like, damn, you're watching that again. Like I'm a huge King of Queens fan. I can go back and watch King of Queens over and over again. The Drew Carey Show was one of my favorites. Mama's Family, my all-time favorite.
It's funny that you said it, because like this morning when I woke up, I was like, I need something just to put on to watch. And the first thing I come across was According to the Gym. And like it was someone had already been watching it because I was over here.
Mom's been watching it on my Prime.
But yeah, I started watching the first episode before everybody started waking up.
Was it commercial free? That's the only reason why I hadn't went and started watching it.
I think so. The part that I watched, I'd never hit a commercial. So
okay. Don't make me jump in there,
these,
Tony and Ziva.
If we're going with all these, we can't forget the king of comedy, the Bernie Mac show.
Oh
True.
yeah,
yeah, you're right about that one.
That's in my rotation too. One of mine, and just hates it. Seinfeld.
I never really could get into Seinfeld.
It's because it's a show about nothing.
Hey, Seinfeld's good.
It's because it's
I'm not hating on it.
It's a show about nothing.
I could never get into it, but I mean,
that was their whole premise. It was just a show about nothing.
But to me, it's like Friends. Either you like Friends or you don't really care for it. I'm one of the people with Seinfeld. I really don't care for it, but I don't have nothing bad to say on it. It's just, it wasn't for me.
Oh, I could go back and watch it over and over. Like it's the same thing with Everybody Loves Everybody Loves Raymond. A lot of people don't care for it. That's another one that is in my rotation list to go back and watch.
That 70s show.
Dude, yeah.
Ooh, I got mine.
That 90s show actually, I couldn't get into it the first time I tried to watch it. The second time I went to watch it, I got hooked and was like, okay, this is actually really good.
Yeah.
And I binged it. And then I'd ended right as they were getting ready to, they had just released the most recent part.
Yeah.
And then I caught up and I'm like, fuck.
And that's the worst feeling is like you finish it and you're like, I want more. It doesn't happen. You know, it's like a year from now.
I hate how how Netflix releases stuff in parts now.
Yeah.
So they're like, here's your first 6 episodes. We'll give you the next 6 episodes. And Netflix is bad about it. Is we'll give you the first 6 episodes this week, and then in a month we'll give you the last. It's like, why couldn't you just go ahead and give all of them?
Me, like when they do shit like that, it's like I'll see it and I'm like, cool, I got 6 episodes I can watch. And then you go and watch it, like whether or not you binge it or you just watch one a day. By the time you get caught up, you realize it's going to be, like you said, about a month or 2 before they release the other part. And you're like, now I wish I would have just did one a week, you know? That's like the worst feeling is to get caught up to something and know you got to wait for the next episode. And it sucks if they do it like in parts because you never know when they're going to release it.
Well, you know, I'm big on like the Upshaws. I like watching it, and they release it in parts. But they'll release it in parts and go a whole year before they release the second part. Or they'll do like a wintertime special, and then they'll do the summertime special.
Yeah.
So they'll release one half in the winter and the other half in the summer, and it's like, why? Do you remember? Like, you remember when TV shows were fucking like 20 plus episodes a season?
Mm-hmm.
You know, like
24 was usually your average,
and they were
episode.
an hour long.
Yeah.
But you didn't get tired of it,
No.
and they kept it going the entire year. The only time I ever remember TV shows like taking breaks was in the summertime. They didn't have this fall break crap, the winter break crap. No. It was summertime when most shows, like, I guess, were actually going into production, and that was when they were recording them. Was in the summertime.
If I remember, sorry, Tater, go for it.
You know a show that what BB was talking about, a show that reminds me of that done a real good job of that, not taking only taking short breaks in between their stuff. And it's one I haven't watched a lot of because my wife doesn't want us to watch it with kids home, but that's Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones, you could set your clock on Game of Thrones. You knew exactly when it was going to come, what time, and how long it was going to be every night.
I hear that.
We were just talking about Game of Thrones last night. How,
That or Yellowstone.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I hate that Yellowstone's pretty much like the OG Yellowstone's done. That sucks.
Yeah, they were kind of like forced to go back
Yeah.
in time and all that mess. Which I don't know. Everybody's got a problem with like the pre shows like that, but I mean, to me, it actually turned out pretty good. You do got to get past like the era, I guess. But once you kind of put yourself into that time, like you get like pieces of Yellowstone into it. Like it's different actors, of course, but you get that Yellowstone feeling. No, it's not the same. No, they're not doing the exact same thing they're doing in Yellowstone, but you have that family vibe. Like you're like, okay, this is where they get it from, you know.
I couldn't get into the spinoffs. I tried. I couldn't do it.
It wasn't bad. It definitely took a little time. I had to keep telling myself this isn't Yellowstone. I think that's what kind of got me through it.
Now they go back and they do like the young John Dutton spinoff to where it's closer to the time zone. I could probably do that. I could probably watch that.
Well, 1923, if you're going through like timeline and stuff like that, that would be like, I want to say maybe the great grandfather or something like that. And it's pretty cool. Like
It was John Dutton's granddad. It wasn't his great granddad. It was his granddad.
okay. But yeah,
Because that's his dad in the show as a kid. That's John's dad.
that one, is really good. Like I can understand you skipping to 1883. I think
Because you kind of
that's
got
right.
to get you got to think that like so 1923 John was in his 60s
Yeah.
in the original Yellowstone,
Yeah.
so that would have put him being born in like the 60s.
But I mean, I can understand people skipping 1883 just because it's shot way back then. But yeah, 1923, like it felt more like home. Like they actually have a piece of the land. They're not moving around. 1883, they were literally just kind of moving around. They haven't found their home. But 1923, they actually have their home and it's them protecting it. And I think that to me made more of a connection to Yellowstone. Now, 1883 kind of built up to that. Like they showed the timeline and how it made that happen. But 1923 was a lot easier to watch.
People didn't like the fact that Tim McGraw and Faith Hill were playing in it.
1883,
They didn't
yeah.
care. They didn't care for their characters. A lot of people didn't.
Yeah, it was a different role for them. As far as them not being good, I think they fell with the story. It was all right. I mean, I wouldn't call them out, you know. Favorite TV shows that I could watch. I had to look it up. Just scrolling through all my TV shows that I have. But Futurama. That is a show I can just keep on
Always
watching.
Go back to Futurama.
That's my show. Like if you ask me what TV show can you watch, that's the only show I can watch the start from episode 1 to the very last episode. And you know, they brought it back with Hulu. That's something that I like doing, was going through and watching the newer episodes. And I thought wasn't gonna like it. I figured they were gonna just destroy it just because they're bringing it back. Because a lot of people hated that, like how it ended. And people were like, just leave it the way it is. This is perfect. And then Hulu coming back around, they made it in a way that it fit the story a lot better. And I think that was what made me kind of like it enough to watch it.
Is it ended again, or is Hulu still making it?
That I don't know. I don't know if they ever caught it. Let me look that up. Because, you know, those are one of those shows kind of like Family Guy to where it really could go either way on it. But yeah, let me look that up, see if they actually caught it. But yeah, Futurama, like I'll watch all those episodes. And it's 12 seasons.
That is really, really good over ice.
Try that.
Cosmetech, surprised you aren't passed out drunk yet. Bro, we don't get tore up on these podcasts.
We've learned.
We got tore up last night on the podcast. That's different.
That was a gaming podcast. No, so Futurama's still going, so they're working on season 14.
I never caught up on Futurama. Like I could go back and watch them. I never did catch up completely. But that was like the same way with The Simpsons. I started going back and watching all of The Simpsons from the.
I did that too. I haven't finished it, but yeah, I'm about maybe halfway. I made it to about season 12 or 13. I know they're in their 30s, I want to say. But yeah, I did the same thing. I was like, I'm gonna go through and watch all these episodes.
Well, The Simpsons is done.
Yeah,
More than likely, it's
they called it.
so it's done. When main characters start dying and they voice so many other characters in that show, you kind of are left with no other option but to end it.
We know we had that conversation too about like King of the Hill and how it's going to be hard, you know, bringing it back. Because I think it was a shock to a lot of people that they were actually going to try and bring it back. But the fact that, you know, the voices or the people that did the voices, that they're dead now, I think that's kind of hard. And I think that's going to play a big role on how they are able to keep that show going and for how long that is.
But they did good. Mike Judge did good bringing back Beavis and Butthead. Like we watched those religiously every week that they came on.
Yep.
And I haven't checked to see if they've made a new season here
It's
recently.
been a minute since we watched it.
Yeah, it's been a good minute. But then like you get into like South Park to where they don't make regular content anymore. They pretty much do specials now.
It's funny with South Park because they went from making fun of like celebrities or just people in general to let's make fun of the times. You know, and they made the COVID event and stuff, and like that's what they're known for now is like they're just making fun of the times. Like look at what's his name? It's the principal.
Garrison.
No, the new principal, the one with the glasses and all that.
Oh,
Yeah,
PC.
PC. Yeah, they made fun of that. Like that was a Tom era. Like to me, like they just kind of switched over. But in their defense, they made fun of so many people. I wouldn't be shocked if they already named everybody so far. So I think they kind of found something different to hit on. But yeah, South Park is another show that you can watch like that. Put it on. I mean, it doesn't matter when you watch into it. I do get, the earlier season may be a little rough for people, but I could watch any episode. It wouldn't have to be back to back, like in order.
Told you, dude. That is good over
That
ice.
is like a lot more flavor.
It is like night and day over ice than shooting it.
But yeah, I would still be feeling the burn right now. I do get it up front, but I mean, the flavor is what comes through off of that.
So Tater, what's been your opinion of the podcast so far? I feel like me and Hunter have kind of dragged a little bit. We're not as pepped up as we normally are, but
We had a little rough night.
I was thinking so that could be due to your late night shenanigans last night, which I went back and watched. Was quite interesting.
We had some moments.
yeah, Shadows or not Shadows. Cosmetech was like, BB, you were just flat out plain drunk. It's like I didn't feel that way about that.
And we were up for a while too. It was what you said
But
about
I didn't.
after 3.
I feel like I didn't actually get tore up until we stopped playing the game.
Yeah, I remember you hit me up with that bottle, and you're like, "Okay, you're gonna finish it off." I'm like, "No, I'm not." And I looked at the bottle, and was like, "Oh shit, yeah, that's the last of the bottle." I didn't know we drank that much. But you drank, I think, the majority of it because you had already were drinking on it. But I mean, yeah, I don't think like we were messed up. We didn't go to bed till after 3 this morning, and we weren't just like falling over or anything like that.
You never feel a couple of moments, but you never feel that drunk in the moment.
That's true. I give you that. But we didn't get fussed at by the producer. Put it that way. I think we maybe had the TV cranked up a little bit.
She came in there and said I was being too loud. But that was only one time. She's like, "You woke up the baby."
Yeah, I think we were playing and you were in the middle of like voicing over, but yeah, I don't think we got in trouble too much with production or the producer.
Shadows
That's
didn't
always
end
a
it.
good thing.
Oh,
Shadows
yeah.
didn't end the live stream.
It's been a minute that he's felt that way where he wanted to. Fall Guys, that's where it usually would happen.
There's a many a times it should have. I almost got busted, so I had to dip.
Yeah, Shadows, I remember BB was like, "Do not end this stream." We're like, "Yeah, that one definitely should have. Let's go and take it down."
Yeah, a lot of those kinds of nights, those get deleted.
For good reason. So, Tater, do you have any questions for us? Because that is the thing that we do with guests is, do you think the episode or podcast could have any changes, or do you have any suggestions for us, or just questions about where this podcast is heading?
No changes for sure. You fellas, y'all do a great job. I love watching y'all. It's great from top to bottom. Um, I do have a couple questions for y'all though.
All right.
If you could go back to any of the Two Drunks episodes that y'all have done, if you could go back to any of the episodes and you had to pick one that just stands out to you as your favorite, which one would that be?
See, back then, or back when we did this question before, it was a little bit easier because we didn't have that many underneath our belt. But now, like, we've added a lot more.
30 episodes.
Yeah. This is gonna be a thinker.
Even though I almost got in a fight, mine would have to be the Bo and Delight episode where we traveled to Millington, Tennessee, and hung out at their house. That was a fun episode. We got super fucking drunk because we ended up doing 2 bottles that night and finished both of the bottles. But that would probably have to be like if I could go back and do it again, I wouldn't change a single fucking thing that I did in that podcast. I had fun.
I would agree. That's definitely one of the episodes that come to mind when I was thinking about it. I would have to say Memphis Ripley. When we did Danny's episode, we did the out of house episode with him. You know, he allowed us to film up in their kitchen, and I think we had the perfect shot with the table and everything. I think it was a different perspective on our podcast, like just how it looked, but it kind of flowed pretty good. But what got me was like the off to the side conversations and how everybody was just surrounded and having fun, and we were joking with his wife and stuff. And I think we almost ended up getting sprayed with water or whatnot. To me, like that was fun. Like we like podcasts like where we're able to have jokes and stuff, or just people in general off to the side like that. And to me, that was one of the first times that we had that much of an interaction with people. But yeah, that one to me was pretty good. What about you, Tater? Is there any episodes that stood out to you?
Oy.
Like,
The
I
ones
haven't
that
watched
stood
that
out to
many.
me aren't really they aren't really the two drunk. I like y'all's I like the ones y'all were doing with the I can't remember, it's the UFC.
Oh, yeah, the SEFC.
SEFC, yep.
Yeah. I really enjoyed those. Those were, to me, those were some of my favorites
And when we
that y'all
started doing
done.
those, it was like a special, like it was kind of take a break on this normal podcast and do a different outlook, like put us somewhere in a whole new place. And I think that's why it kind of worked out, is us doing something different. And we learned that we couldn't drink at these events just because they got a little expensive, you know. But it was definitely new for us, like given that experience. If you watched, you know, the first event versus the second one, you can kind of see where we improved at. But yeah, I like that it was something different. I think that was the only time we've ever did something different.
Timmy said, Tater, look at your Discord messages.
All right,
Ah,
Timmy, I've looked at my Discord messages and I'm gonna ask the question just
I
because
knew that was
you're
coming.
throwing it out there. But
That's
Timmy
questions
wants
about
me to
Timmy.
ask, and BB, this question is directed towards you. Um, which eye am I supposed to be looking at? And that's the question I'm supposed to ask from Timmy, is which eye I'm supposed to be looking at.
I can't say, you know, which one. I won't speak for him. Yeah, it's all on you, man.
On your screen, it's probably the left one that you're supposed to look at.
Okay.
Where I'm sitting, it's the right, though.
Okay. Well,
Fucking egg,
that's why Timmy was pushing the issue. He wanted me to ask that question.
I hate
so, you
Timmy.
know.
Can I fire Timmy?
I mean, he does do the aftermath. He kind of covers our podcast.
Shit.
We'll have to raid his podcast.
I don't get to fire people.
Can we do that? Can we raid there? Because, you know, we had the squad raid our podcast.
I don't see why not. But the thing is, old Geritol, no firing Tim. Shadow says no firing Timmy. Damn it.
So that means we got to do a raid then. That's what we can do.
Yeah, I mean they rated ours, so why not? But old Geritol can get on a damn schedule with Timmy, and Timmy he keeps killing his animals.
I feel bad for Lip. Lip's like, I'm trying to be on it, but, you know, we can't get the right schedule. It's rough.
So my
Yeah.
next question is kind of a current events question, if you will. This whole close call between the Southwest Airlines jet and the business jet that happened not too long ago. I've seen some things blaming Southwest pilots, and I've seen some things blaming the business jet pilots. I don't know if either one of y'all saw it, but Who would you say was at fault in that whole thing? Would it be the Southwest pilots or would it be the business jet?
Now, which one was that? Was that the one that the plane pulled out in front of the other and the plane barely missed it by going up? Or is that a
That's
different one?
that's where the business jet crossed the runway and the Southwest plane just and that's where the Southwest plane had to pull up and get off the runway to get out
I
of the
didn't know.
way
I
to
did
keep
not
from
know
hitting
about
him.
this.
Yeah, I watched that one. I will say, because I've heard like stories on it and stuff, that the person that pulled out in the middle of the runway, they were told to stop and let the plane, take off before they ended up crossing. But they apparently, didn't stop on time, and they stopped right in the middle. So based on what I've heard on that, I would definitely say it was his fault, or their fault, just because they didn't stop in time. But yeah, that's what I heard. I don't know how true it is, but I was told that that they stopped or were told to stop before then, and they didn't make that stop.
So the business jet was told to hold short of the runway, that the Southwest plane was on final, clear to land. If you watched the videos, you could tell the Southwest pilot kind of seen it coming because he floated the airplane over the runway.
Yeah.
His wheels never actually made contact with the runway. It's like he kind of knew it was coming. But the business jet was told to hold short, and he crossed the runway. Um, as the Southwest jet was inches from touchdown. Uh, Kudos to Southwest pilots, by the way, for being able to pull themselves out of that situation. Um,
I feel
but
like
yeah,
that would
there's
be
been people saying it's
on
the
the
Southwest
business.
pilots.
I feel like that would be on the business. Like you failed to obey an order. All right, Hunter, showing me the video.
Yeah, you can tell the Southwest pilots were. It's like they knew it was coming. The Southwest pilot floated the airplane.
Bruh. Yeah, that has to be on the one that pulled out.
Yeah.
Like that. And people, I love how people are blaming, the FAA. Like a lot of those people being let go and stuff. That ain't got nothing to do with that shit, dude.
And see, with the video I saw, like it showed him like pick back up. I didn't see that he was landing it, so I didn't know that was the case. Yeah, I always thought it was him like taking off. But yeah, that adds to it
No,
too.
the Southwest plane was actually coming in to land, and if I know you just showed BB the video, Hunter. If
Yeah.
you watch the video, you can see as a Southwest pilot come in, he floated that airplane because he seen the other jet coming.
Oh yeah, it was a
And you
good call.
could tell he held off. He held off his landing.
Yeah,
to
you
wait
can
and
definitely
see what
tell where he was going to drop it. Like he almost touched and he went right back up.
Yeah, he was waiting to see what was going to happen.
Oh yeah, it was a good call on his part. 'Cause that would have been a hell of a lot worse if not.
Rocky Mountain Production says he says that it's the business jet's fault. Shadows Gaming says the Southwest plane was landing. And Decoy NDA says, hell, I raid their podcast all the time. I don't rate their podcast all the time. They invite me all the time.
Well, there was the aftermath episode where they didn't put it in the background or the intro, or they somehow missed the intro or something like that. But within 5 minutes, you had showed up and they're like, "Oh, like where's all my stuff at?" I'd give them that. That one was the only one I remember.
Can you blame me? You missed out key points. Have y'all seen the Miss Whitman Bad Baby diss track? I don't know who Miss Whitman is.
Miss Whitman. I'm with BB on that one. I don't think I know Miss Whitman. It might be one of those I see the face. I'm like, oh yeah.
All right, guys, it's been a great episode. Thank you so much for being here, Tater. We do appreciate it, bud. We're gonna go ahead and get this Joker ended.
Bad Baby. That's the girl of the.
Is that the Cash Me Outside girl?
I think so.
maybe not on Google it, maybe not on air. We had a false start and we didn't want to redo everything. I always blame you. Yeah, I get blamed for everything. Nothing new.
Bad Movies Artist. Okay, so yeah, I know who you're talking about.
But
No, I haven't heard it though.
it has been a great episode, Timmy. Or fucking get out my head, Timmy. Tater, it's been a great episode. Appreciate you being here. We're gonna get out of here. Till next time, I'm the Delta BB.
I'm Hunter.
I'm Tater.
We'll catch y'all next time. Tater, I hope you had a good night with us. Maybe we'll get you back on again.
Yes, sir. I appreciate y'all having me.
Anytime. We're always looking for guests and definitely suggestions. This bottle was actually good. I enjoyed it. We might have to drink on it some more. But catch y'all next time.
Oh shit.
Ever get out of your head.
You just
And there's Timmy.
are you in the damn live VC? You idiot. This is why we can't have nothing nice.
Ever get out of your head.